Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to the second episode of Up to Speed. Today, we're going to be talking about Project Cars, Fast and Furious, the Need for Speed 10th anniversary, or the lack of the 10th anniversary. Um, yeah, so, so where should we start off?
Project Cars.
Oh
Project
yeah.
Cars. Okay,
I,
let's
I
go straight.
really want to hear your thoughts on Project Cars because you played it at EGX, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. No.
And I'm going into it expecting it not to be amazing because I know the guys developed Shift and Shift 2. Now, Shift 1 was better than Shift 2. The handling model in Shift 2 was so. Oh, anyone that's played it will know, right? I just want to know what your thoughts are on if Project Cars is similar to that.
So I never played Shift 2. Let's make
Right.
that clear. I never played Shift 2. But I did play Project Cars. I was expecting it to be just basically a Gran Turismo clone sort of thing, with better graphics and a better camera, is what I was expecting. No, it's really not. The actual game was delayed. I played on the Xbox One and PS4 version. There was no difference. Like the game, it looked like a PS2 game. The graphics were
What?
shit.
What?
No, the graphics are, especially on the night track. Oh my god! Don't even get me started. It looked like Most Wanted 2005. It was horrendous, especially for a next gen game. And then the mechanics, everything was jittery, laggy. It just was not a fun experience. It was like playing Midnight Club. I'm not sure if you guys remember the PS3 port to Midnight Club, but that thing would lag so much. I played it last night, and that thing lagged so much.
It didn't like so much. Mainly,
Midnight
Go
Club.
back to it. Go back to it. That's all I've got to
What
say.
about Midnight Club LA?
Yeah.
I didn't notice any serious
there
lag.
wasn't like any serious lag. No, there wasn't moments like you could tell, but it wasn't
It
like
was like that all the time.
GTA 4 where the game is literally lag. Like
GTA 4 wasn't too bad for me, actually.
that thing runs at like 25 FPS constantly.
I didn't know it. Anyway, back to Project
Yeah.
Cars. Yeah,
Yeah.
the gameplay was clunky. It didn't look nice. Obviously, there was no in-game soundtrack on the demo. That might be something they add like later on. But in the EGX demo, there was no in-game soundtrack. Um, it didn't really penalize you for cutting corners either, so it wasn't really professional racing, if you know what I mean. Like where Drive Club actually it punishes you if you cut corners and that kind of stuff. Project Cars didn't do any of that. It was if you cut a corner, well, yeah, you're in the lead now, sort of thing. The AI wasn't really that good. It wasn't that intelligent, nor was it really challenging because obviously you could cut corners and stuff, so it didn't really add too much of a threat. And the AI drivers also wanted to kill you. That was another thing. You go into a corner, and then next thing you know, you get hit in the back by another touring car. It was just horrendous. It was. If you are looking forward to Project Cars, don't look forward to that game. In
Right.
my opinion, it was so bad. It was like if you think the Crew was underwhelming or that Horizon 2 was underwhelming, you haven't played Project Cars yet. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
At least for the PAX build, anyway.
When I played the Crew at Eurogamer, when it was still Eurogamer Expo, they
Yeah.
had a 360 controller on it, and I was like, "Is this a 360 version?" Because it looks like ours. So I'm just wondering, was it actually the console versions, or do you think it was a PC?
Oh yeah, they had the consoles out
Oh,
and
okay,
the
okay.
Xbox One controllers and the PS4 controllers out, and then they had this huge like 40-inch telly, which to be honest, it really wasn't doing the game justice because it was shit
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Did it make you sit close to it?
Yeah, and
Yeah, okay.
and obviously that might have done something to the input lag as
Yeah,
well. But still, either way, it was like it felt like a full-on second delay. Obviously, it wouldn't have been, but it felt like every second there was a huge delay between when it broke and when it actually happened on the screen.
yeah.
I hated Project
That
Cars.
that
Wow.
sounds like they've pretty much built it off Shift 2. Did you play Shift 2, Martin?
No,
No, I haven't played any of those.
Right. Um, it was a good game, right? It had customization. It had like vinyls you could place blocks anywhere, like Forza pretty much. But obviously it was a track racer. It wasn't Need for Speed. It was just, and I think that was actually one of the poorest selling Need for Speeds ever. It only just hit 1 million, and
Oh,
it just
God.
stayed there. But it did release the same year as Hot Pursuit, I think it was. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it
probably
was
got
the run.
Oh, was it the run? Okay, it might have been
Yeah.
that. But yeah, the main problem I had with that is, as Cam said, it was the handling model. It was everything was delayed and input was very delayed. So I'd turn right and literally you'd feel a 2 second delay before it did it, and when it did it, the whole car's weight just juddered around.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And it twitches, and then you go into the corner, and it's uncontrollable. And
Yeah. So when you go into a corner, you're like trying to turn, and then you turn too much, or you don't turn enough, and you turn too late, and it's just.
I'm not sure if you guys have seen my EGX vlog. I've actually got some gameplay on it, like a little like snippet of gameplay, and it literally what you just described, where the car jitters and stuff. That is exactly how it reacts.
Yeah.
Exactly how it reacts.
There were a lot of mods for the PC version because I bought it again a couple of months ago because I wanted to do mods and stuff. But they had a handling mod that kind of it didn't fix it completely, but it reduced a lot of the delay and such.
The fact they had to have a mod for that game
Yeah,
to
it's
fix the
like-
handling is what are you doing?
I think I'm still gonna get it. Did you try it with a controller or a wheel?
2 controllers. They didn't have a wheel out
Right.
at the time.
Because one thing I've noticed as well, actually, a lot of people have been saying it's a simulator, right? But I played it, like I played it because I played Shift 2. That Shift 2 was like a simcade thing, and it looks exactly the same as that. The handling model looks exactly the same as that. From what I've seen in like people streaming it, because there's a beta going around and such. The handling model looks pretty much the same, and as for explaining, it sounds the same. And that game was the most simcade thing I've ever played. Like, and it's annoying because I made a video. Can you remember that video? I explained Project Cars, what it is and such. And people were saying, "Oh, it's a simulator. It's the most sim you'll ever get." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh shit.
Like that just, it doesn't make sense. And then they say Gran Turismo isn't a proper simulator, and I'm like, have you played Gran Turismo?
And there's going to be people in the comments trying to defend this
Yeah.
game. You cannot defend this game. It is
Oh,
utter shite. This is the
on the
epitome of...
contrary, I haven't played it. All I know is I've seen the latest trailer, and I wouldn't say the game's going to be amazing, but I'm open to it, and I do like the
definitely.
graphics. Also, I think they're taking the right direction in terms of, the car selection, Evolution Studios, and what else is there? The one thing I don't like is I saw an interview where I don't know who it was, but one of the developers said that you'll be able to jump into any car you want straight away or something like that. You'll be able to take any career path you want.
So now they're taking the most wanted 2012 approach to things as
Yeah.
well.
Just to
I think
jump
that's
in
what's
here,
going to hurt the game.
I think there's kind of 2 career paths you can do.
There's
the
4
one,
actually.
Oh, 4. Okay, yeah. There's one that's kind of like allows you to progress the cars. I think that's the multiplayer side of things.
So wait, it's not like touring car and then like Indy car and stuff. It's
they've it says the ultimate driver journey. They've got like a career path that you can choose where, say, you start in karts and you end up in F1 cars. But they've also got the thing where you can jump into any car you want at any point. And I think at the same time, when you unlock, like, say you've got the karts, you've got all the karts. Like, you don't buy them, you just get all of them. It's that kind of unlocking system, I think.
okay.
Oh no, big mistake.
Like I didn't like the game, but considering it's been delayed to March, I may pick it up if I have some more money.
I'm gonna pick it up because I want like a proper track racer on the PlayStation, because if you think about it, there's no Gran Turismo until maybe late next year, the year after. Whereas on the Xbox, okay, they've got Forza, so they don't really need it. But I mean, on the PlayStation side, I can see why people would want to pick it up. But one thing that irritated me so much, they had an interview with the PlayStation. I can't remember what it's called. There's a little PlayStation channel.
Access?
That's the one.
Yeah.
They had an interview with them, and they were saying how there's not going to be visual customization on the console versions.
What?
And they were saying it's because
Why do you say that
console...
in a PlayStation interview?
Yeah.
Come on, use your head.
They said that because of console limitations. Now, I'm sorry, but if Shift 2 had visual customization on the consoles and on the PC, why is this an issue? Like,
The game looks shite anyway.
If that's the case, I'm not
What are they using
buying
all
the
the
game.
power towards? Like, the huge NSA machine they have? Like, what? I don't get that.
What they're missing out on something here, because that would be a step up on Gran Turismo in itself.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of like people that play Gran Turismo in the way that they'd want to play Forza, for example. Like, you get your car is, your baby pretty much, and you want to. You don't just want a plain white car just driving around. Everyone's in plain white cars. It's kind of,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's really stupid that they've done that, because that would have been
Don't
a
believe
brilliant
that.
selling point. That it is stupid, isn't it?
I
And
have not seen that interview, but if that's the case, I am not paying a penny for the game.
really, okay,
No. PC should get a full game, and I should buy the same game for the same price.
There's,
Yeah,
there-
it's
there's probably
true.
going to be DLC as well. Keep that in mind. And that's gonna
Yeah.
obviously
And you
do
know
what
I hate
DLC.
DLC.
But I was thinking, because I'm probably going to be getting quite an expensive wheel for the PS4. It only worked for the PC, PS4, and PS3. I thought, I may as well get it, because otherwise I'm going to be playing. I know I've obviously got the Crew and I've got Drive Club, but that's pretty much it. So if I get Project Cars, it's another gap to fill kind of thing. It's a track racer until
See, because I'm not sure
Gran
whether to buy
Turismo.
my racing games for my Xbox One or my PS4. Because obviously on the Xbox, you've got Forza, and you've obviously got all the third-party titles. Then on the PS4, you've got Drive Club, Gran Turismo, and all the other third-party titles. I'm not sure whether to, aim more of my racing, like my racing game collection towards the Xbox or the PS4. Obviously, I simply can't afford racing games for both. So I don't know, like, I prefer the controller for the Xbox One, but then the PS4 is more powerful. It's probably going to be it's probably going to look a lot nicer, obviously because of the hardware and stuff. I don't know.
For
I think
No,
me,
I'm
I'm sorry,
leaning
but
more towards the Xbox One at the moment.
Theo, what you just said is still bugging me
what the
about the customization.
that yeah,
I mean,
it
I
bugged me
mean,
for a while.
how is that requiring resources from the console? It's just parts, like
It's literally like,
part of the car. Unless
yeah,
it's affecting physics and handling, then no,
But
there's no
even then,
excuse.
like,
it can't. But I'm guessing the way they do it is because you see on every game how bad the textures become when actually you're driving around in the car. They literally just kind of they allow you to put all these layers, and then it saves it as one big
Oh, you
one.
talk about like visual, like paint and stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'm assuming they're still gonna have like allow you to put a big spoiler on it or something. They had that in Shift 2, like it was the works upgrades at the end, so you could put like bumpers on and stuff, but it was all it wasn't tuner stuff. It was all
Like packages.
no, more like because they're all like race cars. They're pretty much just race car body kits and that sort
Oh
of
yeah.
stuff. So. But they had a works thing which pretty much put like the best spoiler and the best wide body and that sort of thing. It was pretty cool, but I don't know. I'm mixed on the game, but I'm interested in it because it's a track racer that I don't know, for the PlayStation side, that's not going to be here until Gran Turismo, and that Gran Turismo is basically just going to be GT5 again, like GT6 was.
okay, so even if the game is made as a simulation game, you got to use the wheel and stuff. Surely the wheel will still have input lag.
Definitely will, yeah.
So that doesn't.
They wouldn't add kind of lag just for the controller, because that would be a bit
And
useless.
the car's still gonna stutter and stuff, and that's surely gonna be harder to control using a wheel.
I'm not gonna buy it day one, I don't think. But I guess that's one of the advantages of being in the UK, because you can watch the Americans do it. So I think what I'll do with that is I'll wait to see people's videos, and then I'll decide myself if I'm getting it on. Because I'm guessing, if there's issues with it, people will fix it on the PC, so I'll end up getting it on the PC kind of thing, so then I can do the finals
Like
as well.
every game has a preferred platform. Like Borderlands, that's a PC game.
Yeah.
Need for Speed, that's a console game.
For
Project
sure.
Cars is definitely a console game. I mean, a PC game. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
Correctly.
it's because I think it was like funded by the community. It's one of these early access kind of games that are getting funded by people buying it. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something I want to watch because it's something I'm interested in, but I'm not 100% on it yet.
Okay, should we move topic?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Before we go on to Fast and Furious, I kind of want to talk about, does DLC ruin games? As you guys know,
Yes.
um, every other company's doing it now. Whether it's Turn 10, whether it's Criterion, they're all doing it. They're all adding cars in. They're all adding new places. Does it ruin games? Like,
Completely,
are we
yes.
not paying for a full game anymore? Like,
Let
does
Matt
that
and
ever
start with
happen?
this one.
Yes, I will. Okay, I absolutely hate DLC. I've made many videos on this, and bottom line is, I think DLC segregates gamers because,
Definitely.
say, someone pre-orders a package from, I don't know, Amazon, and then you just buy the standard model of the game. They've got cars that they are loving. They tell you about it, and you don't have it. You've got to pay more to get it. Secondly, they are abusing it now rather than using it to expand games and experiences. Like, say, Red Dead Redemption did well. They will abuse it to make sure they get the most money out of you for the cars you love.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. With me, I'm kind of mixed on it because obviously my favorite game at the moment still has been for the past year is GTA. Now that game gets free updates,
Yeah,
which is obviously a good way to go. Now the way they make money from that is you can buy these shark cards and stuff, like in-game money. So it doesn't really lock people out at the same time. So I'm kind of mixed on it. It's bad and good in some areas, but I think what they're doing now, as you said, is they're locking parts away just as to pay for later. A lot of these things will be on the disc, obviously. Otherwise, you won't see other people driving around in those cars and that sort of thing.
yeah,
So I don't know. It's like at the last minute they go, actually, let's chop half of the game out, and you've got to pre-order season pass to get
It's
that
not
later
next
on.
gen.
And yeah, it's kind of going in the wrong direction because it used to be if they had anything extra they wanted to add in or anything wanted to hide away, they'd add a cheat code in or kind of completing a big challenge series or
yeah.
something like that. But now it's what, we'll just take that out and put it as DLC. Big
Mhm.
one that really annoyed me is the M3 from Most Wanted 2012. Now, I saw that in a screenshot before the game released, and you took
Oh,
it
wow.
out. Like, it was hidden away in a corner somewhere. It's like, yeah, we know you're going to release it now. How much are you going to charge for us? Charge us
That's
for
like
it?
a clear example. That's a clear example because, I
Exactly,
mean,
yeah.
putting that car initially into the game would have been fantastic because it would have been a closer homage to the 2005 game.
Even just
What
having
they
that
did
car in,
was,
yeah.
yeah, what they did was, oh, we know they love this car. Let's make it DLC.
Yeah.
DLC, they can't buy it.
I miss the
Yeah.
days when we actually did pay for a full game. Underground 2, Most Wanted, just all those games. Like, no
Man,
DLC, you had the full game in your hand. That's what
mhm.
you had, no more.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Some games are okay with it, I'd say. Like, obviously, GTA is a big one that's good with that kind of thing. It
But
seems to
even
be
then,
like.
like, when you have 30 gig updates and you can't even fit that all on your PS3, like, shouldn't that have been put in the game in the first place? I mean,
Well, I
shouldn't
don't
they,
know.
or shouldn't they just delayed the game by a year and put all these features in?
Delaying
Yeah.
GTA by a year.
Oh no, no,
I'm
I
not
think
not
I
that.
saying
think
it's GTA,
the
like, people would still buy it.
the thing is though, like yeah, because but I don't know. I think it released well. The thing is,
Oh, yeah.
I
Of
mean,
I
course.
agree.
it's
My only
kind of
problem was
like
with the online launch.
I don't think they should have delayed it, right? Because if they did, like these things, you can tell are kind of they're thought of, some of them, like say the heists for example, but they're not prepared before launch like these other companies are doing. Whereas another big example, Forza Horizon 2, a week after its launch there was DLC.
Yeah.
Right, that's saying that they cut that out to sell it to you after.
Yep.
But I mean, with GTA, with an update coming out a year after it's been out, it's like, yeah, I can. I mean, it's not. They're not even charging you for it.
You know what I noticed about the Forza car pass and stuff?
What?
The car pass, the actual pack itself, they're all the same size.
The same site? What do you mean?
Just so it unlocks it on the
Oh
disc.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like, oh, well, come on, Turn 10, Playground. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you, why are you just completely just taking money out my wallet for no reason?
An
Give me the
interesting
game.
one is Burnout Paradise.
Oh,
Reason is, that looked like a game that wasn't gonna have DLC, and then they
yeah.
updated it and added cars, and then they updated it and added a store. And I don't know. I can kind of with the way they did that, you can tell that it wasn't planned, kind of thing.
I approved the was it Big Surf Island DLC?
That was a very good DLC for their price.
That is what a DLC should be. It should be added content. It should be new cars. It should be new tracks and all this kind of stuff. But when they literally just add single cars, like I'm pretty sure you guys remember the Toys pack.
Oh, about the Rivals DLC. Remember that? Yeah.
That was just blatant.
Why on earth? I didn't buy any of it, but why on earth did I even consider? Like,
it seems like Rockstar know what to do with DLC, because I just thought as well, Midnight Club, the way they did that is they gave you the map for free, and if you wanted the cars and to do more races, then you bought the pack. That's a brilliant way of doing it. Because
like I don't specifically like GTA 5 or well at least the online anyway, but Rockstar in everything they do it right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They always leave people happy. Like you never see a bad Rockstar game, like whether it's Midnight Club, whether it's GTA, you know, whatever it is. There's never ever a bad Rockstar game. Which I don't know, it's just something random odd. Point out. So if we go across the board, does DLC ruin games? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely, because another example, Destiny, is a recent one, and the fact that they're releasing details about season passes before the game's even released now, that just says, you know, and there was rumours of them locking the Far Cry multiplayer component to the season pass buyers, and it's like, really? You're making me pay like £60 if you buy it on the PlayStation Store for a game, and then £20 on top of that for a season pass. And then Forza, that just took it to another level with Forza 5. It was like £40 for the car pass, £50 for the game, and then it's got £20 for this VIP pass that gives you an extra few cars that were already
I really
in the game.
do think it's time for gamers to stand up and say something, because this is becoming borderline ridiculous now.
Yeah, it is.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I just remembered, you two just said Burnout and Midnight Club? Okay, so how do you feel about DLC coming out after a complete edition? Or Ultimate Box, shall I say? Because I've got Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition, which is everything, and I love that. But Burnout Paradise Ultimate Box, I've got that as well.
I remember that.
That is a kind of a scam.
That is a scam, yeah, definitely. That should not be allowed, because it is called the Complete Edition, and, you know, the Ultimate Box, and it's supposed to have everything. It's like the PC version. They released the Ultimate Box on the PC. That was, I think, the first time they released it on PC.
Yeah, it was.
And it didn't have any of the good stuff, like the map or anything. They had to get people to kind of mod the map in from the
I
console
have Vanity
version
Pack, which added Big Surf Island in.
So you're not able to get the DLC at all unless you mod it in, and it's like, really? Like, if people can mod it in, why can you not do it? And you call it the Ultimate Box, and it's branded as the Ultimate Box, and it doesn't have, you know, half
the only thing different about that game is the party mode, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was and it's like, no, that's not how it works. Criterion.
Do you know the way I found out? I was playing online Freeburn, and I think it was something like what's it called? Road Rage. Yeah, that's it. And I was trying to take someone down, and he goes off the Big Surf Island. I tried to follow him, and then
that's why I brought a Midnight Club, because you drive there, and it's like, no, you're not allowed there on Burnout. But in Midnight Club, you can go there, and it's like, oh, I like this.
I must have spent hours in South Central before I bought the expansion pack.
Yeah.
Like hours just roaming around having a look at the area, because obviously Midnight Club back in the day was one of the bigger games, and so many people played that game, and you know, just having it open for you to have a look. So maybe you don't like South Central, you just don't find it an interesting place to drive. You don't have to buy the expansion pack.
Yeah,
I must have spent hours just doing police pursuits around that area.
I can't remember exactly how much it cost, but there was a lot of content in that.
Was it 10 quid?
I think it was like 10 quid, and you got a lot of cars, and you know, obviously a new storyline and loads of new races. It was really cool.
Yeah, I still haven't completed. Well, I've still completed the main storyline, but obviously all the other events, like I've 100%ed Midnight Club's main story, but I'm still yet to do that on South Central.
I got the R8 online. That took a lot of time. that was a brilliant.
That was a grind.
That
was a grind.
I liked that though, because it's another thing. Like, if it was another company, they would have charged that R8 as DLC. But Rockstar, they made you do lots of like little challenges on, you know, drive a certain amount of miles, and
it was like something ridiculous, like 250 or something. Oh, I remember that. I spent days just going around the map trying to unlock that achievement.
Well, I used to get my brother to.
Have any of you done the what's it called? Rate is it 25 rides online trophy yet?
Oh, I think I did. Before they made it like crash and stuff
Yeah,
on the
I was just about to say.
game.
I tried to do it and it just crashes and
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
can't
servers are down now because I tried to stream it last night, and yeah, apparently I wasn't signed into the PlayStation Network, which was
Oh
obviously
yeah, yeah.
false.
So it was on the GameSpy servers, I think, and that
Mm.
company closed up or whatever.
Anyway, should we move topic over to Fast and Furious 7?
Yep.
Yes.
I know Martin's got a lot to say about this.
Yes, I do.
So do you want to go first? You go on, you can kick it off.
Yes. All right. I'm a big Fast and Furious fan. I've watched all of them and I love all of them. My current, how do I say, it, favorite of the series so far is still Fast Five. Nothing, nothing will top that vibe. Nothing will top.
Ooh.
This is Brazil. That was an epic moment. So Fast and Furious 7. I think that should be the last one. I think the series is going on for a bit too long now.
Yeah.
Too much key characters, and the longer you keep a series going, the more you are, how do I say it, like you're risking the value of it.
Yeah.
And the last thing to mention, of course, is Paul Walker has passed, and it'll just be a huge respect to end the series there.
Fast Five was your favorite? No, no. What's happened to this world? What has happened to this world? For me, personally, anyway, the first or Tokyo Drift were my favorite. I couldn't pick between the two, but those two were just something else. Like when he's building that car in the last scene of Tokyo Drift. Spoiler alert. And then he won the race, and he was and his was it his uncle or something came to the Japanese guy and was like, "You're a disgrace," and then he walked off. Oh, just that feeling, like you just don't get that anymore. And
My
then
favorite
the first
was
one.
always Too Fast Too Furious.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that one
Easily.
kind of slipped after the first.
Like
Yeah.
I liked the second one because like that. Well, that was like the first one I actually saw. I actually saw that first.
On
And,
ITV. It's always on ITV.
I saw that one
ITV
first,
too.
and then I kind of went back to one, and then I watched them all through since then. But yeah, I'd say the second is my favorite, mainly because like it was more about the cars in that one. I feel.
I think the first one was about the cars as well. The first one was about the actual story between the characters
Yeah.
and the cars. I think you find obviously it had cheesy acting and stuff, but the storyline was still there, and it was still like a good storyline as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is what I really liked about the first one. And then obviously for Tokyo Drift, that had kind of a combination of everything it had. It's following this random guy in a spin-off series, and then it kind of linked to every other story later on. So like obviously in the last one, if you watch all the way up to the credits, Jason Statham came in and he was the one that killed Han and and it kind of all connected, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I really like that as well.
Yeah.
But nothing can ever beat Tokyo Drift and the first Fast and Furious.
I like them all, but I just appreciate the human depth to the characters and say, the production values have really jumped up since after
Oh yeah, definitely,
Too Fast
definitely.
and Furious. Like they're really blockbuster films now, and that's why I really like number
The
five.
only thing I don't like about it is how it's not about the cars anymore. It's about shooty bang bang. You know what I mean? Like it's about oh shit, they got a tank. You know?
That was a great moment though.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it
it
was.
should be shit. They've got a 350Z with 5 tanks of NOS.
No,
That's what it should
no.
be. Yes,
no.
it should. Like
Yeah.
They've kind
I
of
guess so.
progressed, and they're more like into something that's
I guess
not just
in a
about
way
racing.
they've kind of evolved and
Yeah.
gone with the trends because obviously as time's gone by, tuners and muscle cars and all those type of import tuners and stuff, they kind of can become less popular. I do believe they are making a comeback now. I genuinely think that import tuners are making a very, very slow comeback. So
I don't
hopefully
know.
we will see more than one street race in the next Fast and Furious. That's all I'm hoping for.
What I'm thinking is, if this is obviously the final one because of reason, yeah, I'm thinking that obviously it will kind of, in a way, like link to all of them in the sense that they'll have old cars and new cars. It'll just be like the final, the great big one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, with like imports and muscle
It would
cars,
be about
super
racing
cars.
and the characters, and you'll find out everything you need to know, and it's just going to be like the big finale.
Yeah, well,
Hope so.
I'm not sure if you guys follow the Fast and Furious YouTube channel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw the video they put up. It's
And
like-
obviously, Fast and Furious 7, the actual trailer, I believe, is releasing in November the 1st.
Yeah.
And they've been doing build-up. I think it's called Seven Sounds of Fast and Furious or something like that. And it's just been like showing little teasers. And yeah, it's going to be big. You can just
Yeah.
tell how they're like hyping the game up. It's gonna be big.
Have any of you watched the On Back trilogy
Uh,
with Tony Jaa?
no.
No.
Well, he's in Fast 7, and if he fights anything like he does in On Back, wow, you're in for a treat. I tell you that. This guy will use his elbows to fuck you up.
There's really not many other racing car film franchises as big as Fast and Furious.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Like the only other one I can think of, which I've only recently started watching, is Initial D, and that's nowhere
I've
near.
never seen that. I've literally I don't watch films much at all. I'm
It's
not a
like
film
an anime
person.
series, but I cannot watch Japanese shit. Like it pisses me off. Like I just can't watch subtitles, so I have to listen to the dubbed version. It's just I'd hate it.
Do you guys,
I hate having to read subtitles.
do you want a Need for Speed sequel?
Yep.
Definitely.
How about you, Theo? Yeah, I think so as well.
I went in expecting it to be absolute garbage. I really,
Yeah.
really did. Because it just looked like, looking at the trailers, not even just like linking it with the actual Need for Speed series as of like, just looking at the trailers, it looked like it was such cheesy acting, such, fake cars, just
Yeah.
everything.
You know what I want?
And it turned out it was good. Like, I really,
yeah.
really enjoyed it.
I want a movie related to the games. So having an underground game or a most wanted game would just completely do it for me.
I think following kind of a most wanted style line. So most wanted,
Yeah,
Carbon.
definitely.
Obviously you've got, I forgot the name of it, Pro Street. That would kind of work because Pro Street's pretty much like. It reminds me of Race Wars from the first Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
And it's, I don't know, it kind of, you can see where the hints have come in from Fast and Furious throughout the whole Need for Speed series. But I think it would make its own unique movie in a way at the same.
And they could split it up into 3 separate, movies. And they could milk more money out of us. Like, that would work perfectly. You could have the most wanted one, then you could have the Carbon one, and then you could have the Pro Street one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that would earn so much money for him. It would raise the profile again, and it would kind of be an homage to the old Need for Speed games. I was kind of disappointed that the actual the most recent Need for Speed game, the only Need for Speed movie, it literally had no context to the game at all. Not even rivals. It had no context.
It linked into the same world because you saw hints of. You can tell that was based on the run, like the main structure of it.
Yeah.
And obviously they had like the tablets and the whole racing underground thing, like the run was, and it felt connected still, but
It didn't have any correlation to any of the older Need for Speed stories, though. I guess in a way it did with the run, obviously, but the character was different. Like, just because they're using tablets and stuff doesn't really mean like I can kind of see where you're coming from, but just because they're using an iPad to work out where they're going, it doesn't really connect.
It was kind of like, it was similar to the run. Like they had the whole. Like he accessed some app or some site or something that had like a list of all these races inside the race, and there was some big race to a certain location, you got a lot of money, that sort of thing. So
that's kind of more of an Easter egg, though, not really a core component.
Well, it is. I don't know. It's pretty
even,
close.
even the policeman scene in the kind of petrol station that was linked to the run.
Yeah.
So in the runner, he has to defend himself from those cops in the alleyway as well. So.
Well, I was thinking anyway, because of the Need for Speed movie, do you think that's gonna kind of link in with the next Need for Speed? Do you think that is literally going to be the next Need for Speed?
I hope not. Jesus Christ.
all I know is that I want them to get rid of that English. I don't want to swear, but she was so annoying.
Imogen Hoots.
Pretty but annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Her name.
Damn.
And her script was terrible. Like, at one point she said, "So you think just because I'm a girl, I don't know how to." But again, you guys know what I'm talking about. So you think just because I wrote that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Well, if they ever do make another Need for Speed movie, let's just bring it to illegal street racing, please.
And don't make that guy bring helicopters out his ass again. Oh, I just got a military helicopter.
Hey, it was better than shit. They got a tank. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, because that actually made sense. Whereas this, he just literally, I've just got a military-grade helicopter here.
And then he was watching an illegal street race in a prison.
Yeah.
Like, how?
Pass your phone, I want to watch this race.
I'm pretty sure the Metacritic scores for that film were like 36.
Yeah, it was quite low, but I think
Quite
if
low. 36 is very
yeah,
low.
I mean, I don't know. I think people that watch movies all the time and like don't play games, they probably might not appreciate it. But because we've played the games and because there's only really the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a different. As I said, it was more about the cars. I would say that film.
Well, I actually did go with a friend who watches like a lot of movies. Doesn't really
I
play.
went on my own. I was just sat there on my own, like.
Hashtag donate a friend for Theo. But yeah, I went with a friend, and he's played the older Need for Speeds like Most Wanted, Underground, and this kind of stuff, but he's not really into racing games. I'm pretty sure he may be watching this video. But yeah, we went with him, and he hated the film. It was like
Really?
he said, bad acting. He hated it.
There were a few moments that was really bad acting, like when he was like splashing around in the water, like screaming. That was just like, it was such an awkward moment. It's like it's like you just stood there like looking at him doing that in slow motion. It's like, no, this
You're
is
just
just
thinking, what?
is this going to be finished yet?
With what Cam said,
and he absolutely hated the film. And I came out of that, and I felt like a 5-year-old again.
you liked it, right?
Yeah,
I
I
noticed
loved it.
that the people who do play the games, or at least played Hot Pursuit, them type of games, like the movie, but the ones who don't call it trash.
Yeah.
It's not even that; it's just the more hardcore audience, I guess.
Yeah, the more movie people.
Like if you just look at the ratings user reviews on IMDb, you will see the people who actually do play the games.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Me
So,
too.
last topic before we end the podcast: favorite Need for Speed of all time and why? I've kind of. I know my favourite, and I talked about this a lot last week actually. So if you want, I'll say my answer just to give you guys some thinking time, if that's okay. Unless you've already got an answer.
I've got an answer.
I've got an answer.
Okay, Theo, you go first then.
Most Wanted. I love Most Wanted. That was my first proper the Need for Speed that I got really really into. Like I probably played that more than any other. It was just the whole fact that from going from Underground 2 had a storyline, but it wasn't a proper full-on story like Most Wanted had and Carbon had, where you got you actually. I don't know the character's name. I'm just assuming he's called Player.
Some assume he is Ryan Cooper.
Yeah.
But let's not get into that. There's a long list of theories behind that.
But yeah, I just, because it was my first one, the story was amazing. I played it so many times. There was a lot of content, in that game, and obviously it was the open world and it had the cops, and I just spent more time on that game than the others, I would say.
Well, for me, my first Need for Speed, which I really got into, was Hot Pursuit 2. I love that game to bits. Then Underground 1 came out, stepped up to a whole new level. I really did enjoy Most Wanted, I really did. But I felt the free roam had no purpose. Every time you go around a corner, there's a policeman there, and he's just like, oh, there you are, let's go on a pursuit. And then you've got heat levels 5 police on you for no reason, just because you were going to an event or you were going towards a car lot. And that's what really kind of disappointed me about Most Wanted 2005, was the fact you couldn't free roam without, without being in a chase. Like, that was impossible.
It was quite easy once you did it a lot.
Well, the pursuits were easy. That's fair enough. But the fact they would always get you in pursuits, like if you just wanted to go to a car lot and then a police car came over the
that's mainly if you're just hitting everything.
So annoying. Like they always used to come. They always used to come. I remember that specifically. I remember yesterday I played it and they always used to come no matter what you were doing and where you were.
What are you doing while you're driving?
I'm being an illegal street racer.
Like. The way I remember it, I could free roam as much as I want, and you just kind of slow down when the cops come.
That's what I remember.
And then
it should be more like how the crew is.
If you were in an area where you were literally just smashing everything over and such, then yeah, they're gonna kind of come after you and like hitting traffic and that sort of thing.
Every time I attempted, I just didn't bother. That game was really a track-based racer for me, with free roaming cops where you could do milestones and stuff. But anyway, I'm digressing. So my personal favourite. I guess you can kind of call me a chav because I like import tuners. Is Underground 2. it was really the first. Obviously, I would love the Need for Speed series beforehand, but this was really the one that kind of hooked me and got me addicted to the series. Like this was the first one that truly got me addicted. I can say. The free roam, you could actually drive around without police on you. You could do outrun events, you could do so many things in the actual world. There was amazing views for the PS2 era of games. Like the graphics on that game were absolutely insane. Unrivaled customization. We have not seen any customization in any game. Not The Crew, not Horizon 2. No other game has beat the level of customization in Underground 2. Like, I don't think of, like, maybe Midnight Club 3, Dub Edition, that might be it.
I don't think any game will, because I don't think any game really wants to put a speaker system in the back of the car.
I would.
Like,
No,
there's just
I
some
do
things
think
that are
Midnight Club
pointless.
3 Dub Edition may have beat Underground 2 for customization wise, though.
I never played that one.
No? Oh,
No.
that was basically the Underground 2 of the Midnight Club series.
I think I played
do
it on
think
PSP, did I? I don't know.
you may have had it on PSP. I think it did release on PSP, actually. It was
Yeah.
like a Dub Edition remix, something like that. Like,
Yeah,
something
something like that.
But yeah, unrivaled customization. We're never ever going to experience that again. It really did stay in tune to the Fast and Furious movies. It had a storyline. Obviously, it was an OTT, but it still had it there, and it still gave it some purpose. It had obviously what was the name? What was the name? The big busty chick.
Caleb.
Oh, he's a guy.
Oh, oh, sorry. I thought you said Big Boss. My bad.
He had someone else in. I can't remember. Was it something Brooke?
I don't know.
Samantha Brooke, Nicole Brooke, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. It had the main storyline. It had this stupid bitch who you hated at the start of the game. Then you became friends. Like as the further you got into, and the more she
That's
helped you.
definitely Nikki.
Yeah, and it kind of carried on from Underground 1 as well. So it kind of still had a storyline. And I don't know, everything about that game, just like the vibe it gave off. The mood the whole game was in, the nighttime street racing, making you feel like you're an illegal thug. It made me feel great, and that's what I kind of want from The Crew. If you know what I mean, it's kind of I want that feeling back where I feel like I am an illegal street racer who is, and I guess it's kind of it's all ties in, like I want to feel how I felt in Underground 2, in Most Wanted, in Carbon, where I'm an illegal street racer, doing amazing things at night and da da da. Like I want to get that feeling back as a little kid again. That's why I'm so hyped for The Crew. I think I'm digressing here, but I think that's why everyone generally is so hyped for The Crew. It's because it really captures that sense of you are an illegal street racer and you are taking on the whole US. This is and then obviously it's got all the multiplayer stuff as well into it. And I think Underground 2 was the only game, for me anyway, that recaptured import culture as well as Fast and Furious did. And obviously with the backing of Fast and Furious back in the day, really this game couldn't fail. And it is my opinion, it's the best racing game ever made.
Okay.
Martin? Sorry to go a bit OTT there, but
Well, it's just that you guys are gonna kill me for this one.
as long as
You're probably-
as long as you don't say Most Wanted or Rivals, I'm fine.
It's right. It's Need for Speed Rivals. I'm joking.
That's a great
I'm joking.
podcast, guys. I'll see you later.
Okay, on a serious note, it's between Need for Speed Underground 1 and Most Wanted 2005.
No,
We've
I can see why you say that.
With Underground 1, I somehow prefer the kind of confinement and
I
lack
was
of
actually
open
going to say
world.
that. I was going to
Yeah.
say that. It felt, I don't know, it just felt more to point, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
to the point
yeah.
of what you were doing.
Yeah, like so say in the Fast and Furious movies, you never see him roaming around then going into a street race. You see him actually get into the street race. I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah, with Underground 1, it was this is your next race, pick your difficulty, move on. And there was also obviously the unique challenges between those events, and it's basically Underground 2's father, either way you look at it. With Underground 2, I thought it's definitely the bigger game, but I just, Underground Racing League, I didn't felt like it fit in. I didn't like Street X. I mean, I did like it, it just wasn't for Underground. All the customization, of course, much more expanded, but
The game was going to be a lot bigger.
yeah.
Because I'm obviously making a documentary at the moment about Need for Speed, and I've been researching this really hard. And apparently, there's going to be a whole new city, but it was, taken out of the game because of development time. Because obviously, the game had to be made in a year. And even Underground 1 was supposed to, I think, I might be wrong on this, I think it was supposed to be open world, because obviously the world is all connected, like almost like all the tracks are
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like on the same map sort of thing.
It
And that
felt
was
like
actually supposed to be open world, but
yeah.
it
You
was
they
a
have,
didn't do it
really
'cause,
nice
yeah, you didn't
map
get the time.
in
yeah.
Underground 1.
That's
Like there
another
were
thing.
a lot of courses that were really like they were very unique, and I think they'd still stitched together quite well as well. But
Yeah,
I don't I think one good thing about the races where you select a track and you don't, have an open world, it can be a lot more varied, easier. Like in Drive Club, for example, in 1 minute you're in Canada, and the next minute you're in, I don't know, India or something. They can do a lot of variety, whereas in Rivals it just feels like a big squashed mess because it's such a small map and they've got kind of varied areas that are just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense in some
I'll never
areas.
forget that Chinatown track in Underground 2. I mean,
Yeah.
Underground 1.
oh,
That track was
the
amazing.
bridge that comes up.
Yeah,
That's oh my
it's
gosh.
the best thing ever, really. Like the older like track-based Underground games and Hop Shoot, those were just some of the greatest games ever made.
I also like the nitrous system. Like once you use it, that was it. You couldn't get it back. There was no recharging. You had to be really smart about how you use that in your race. And towards the end, it got really hard. Like I stayed in my little Peugeot 206 from beginning to end, and it was not easy. Not easy.
Yeah, agreed. I kind of prefer the NOS system, but then when say in Underground 2, you're out of NOS, you're going around the last corner, you do an amazing drift, and you go through a shortcut, and now you have half a tank full of NOS, and you're just spamming A on your keyboard, and then you manage to win the race. Like moments like that, you can't have in Underground 1, if you know what I mean.
Even with Underground 2, there was like a lot of products placement and
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I really like that though.
There's a lot of T-Mobile placement within all of
T-Mobile,
like.
Burger King,
Yeah.
Singular.
It wasn't as bad as
Yeah.
most in 2005, where there was literally a cheat code was Burger King. That's what the cheat code
Well, in
was.
Need for Speed World, they had like T-Mobile billboards around the city and stuff.
I like it though. It kind of gives it more of a realistic feel.
Yeah, but you don't get T-Mobile billboards on every single like sign everywhere.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, like, I'm never gonna buy a T-Mobile phone, so why should I give a shit? Like,
I don't
I'm on
know.
O2.
It just
I'm
felt
happy on
a bit
O2.
cheap, really. Like it was. I know they're trying to make more money and such, but advertising T-Mobile in a racing game, like I don't know, if you advertise like someone that makes rims like BBS on a billboard, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
They had one called X Mods. I remember specifically. In
It would
Underground
kind of
2.
like fit in with the game because you can choose those rims anyway, and it would also fit
Yeah.
in with real life. You can go out and buy those.
Yeah, I agree. But you got to keep in mind these games had huge ad campaigns as well. Like from Hop Shoot onwards, Hop Shoot 2 onwards, the games really started to have really big ad campaigns, both on telly and
Yeah.
basically everywhere.
I still remember the Underground 2 advert.
Is it Underground 2 or Underground 1? Because I know which one you're thinking of.
Definitely Underground 2.
Is it the one where the
They
lady
had-
was like starting the street race and then they had like a race on her body and stuff?
All I remember is
Oh,
a
I
car
remember that.
using hydraulics. The car was using hydraulics, and then Underground 2 logo comes up. Advert done.
Best advert ever.
Yeah.
The one I was thinking of is the Underground 1 one when the car's in the garage and it's just a normal Sentra, and then the Sentra kind of like starts to mutate into this tuner thing. Do you guys remember that?
Nope.
No.
No. Oh, such a good. That shit scared me when I was like 5. I'm not even gonna lie.
The intro to Underground 1, that is
Oh,
literally Too Fast, Too Furious. Like, that first race that they have is literally that. Like, they have
yeah.
the same colour cars and everything, and they do the jump, and it's...
So
that was
cheesy
like...
as well.
Yeah, but I'd say, yeah, Underground is... honestly, I would say I preferred Underground to Underground 2. I played it a lot more and stuff, because Underground 2, literally all it really added to me was the open world. And it was kind of one of those pointless open worlds. Not as pointless as Hot Pursuit, because that was that you couldn't even go to the events and such on that open world. But I don't know. I felt as if because I played Underground 1 first and I had pretty much everything I'd say Underground 2 had, other than hydraulics or something.
I felt it had purpose because you could find like, well, obviously all the bonus cash. You could, you had to find the actual like performance shops and stuff. So I felt it had purpose.
I don't know. It just, to me, it didn't have as much purpose as even Rivals, I would say. Like
To me,
Rivals has a purpose for an open world.
I think Underground 2 was is basically what Underground 1 wanted to be, but they just didn't have enough time, basically.
It may be, it may be.
But
But
Still, there's
even
still some
then,
things
rip
I
Black
prefer in the
Box.
first one. For
Yeah.
example, the actual CGI looking cutscenes rather than the comic strips.
just really liked literally where just booting up the game on Underground. Underground 2, I was like, yeah, okay.
Let me do it again. When you stick in Underground 1 and you just hear dum dum dum.
Yeah, and your car drives through the tunnel,
Yeah.
and it's
All the ex-
when you're
that
going
was
through all your
that was
cars and they
great.
just drive off in the tunnel and the other one pulls up, and that was just such a cool like little thing, but it was really really good.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess I never got that in Underground 2 when you heard Snoop Dogg in the background.
Yeah, and
No,
then your
Riders
car's
on
just kind of
Storm.
spinning
that was
around while you.
way too subtle.
Yeah.
Way too subtle. Riders on the storm.
Tell you what, those games though, like the combination of rock, house, or whatever it was, electronic, and rap in the early Underground games were just I just can't beat the soundtrack in those games. Like I still listen to them to this day.
I say overall my favourite soundtrack was from Most Wanted 05.
Most
The rock
Wanted,
rap
yeah. Most
combo
wanted.
was perfect. And then I'd say Carbon was pretty good, and Underground 1 I would say is one of my favourites as well.
The only reason Carbon I don't think had a really good soundtrack is partially due to because obviously like when you were playing races and stuff, it only came up when you were actually in races. When you couldn't turn off the Pursuit OST. So like you always had the Pursuit OST on basically, and then when you win in races, it kind of had it didn't have many of the licensed songs on it. It usually had the original songs made by that random bloke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing about Rivals though that you could do in older games, you turn off the music completely in Rivals, but I actually liked the pursuit music in that game. It felt really, intense when you've got the police after you and you're about to die. And
I've hated the Pursuit music.
I liked it.
It's most
but
wanted
the thing is,
2005.
I couldn't turn off just the soundtrack because I hated the soundtrack in Rivals. No. Just
See, I was the
everything
exact opposite.
dubstep-
I would start a
everything was
head race
dubstepping.
just to get the soundtrack up.
I hated the soundtrack on that game. I wanted to turn it off, but I couldn't hear the pursuit music, which I really, really did enjoy. It's not as much as I did Most Wanted 05 at the time, but if I listen to both of them now, I would say Rivals is more because it just sounds up to date. If you know what I mean.
You are my shining star. That song.
No, none of the music on that game. None of it.
Like my music taste is so just weird. Like grime, rap, hip hop, rock, metal, whatever. I listen to all of it. Rival soundtrack wasn't great, but that song was just amazing.
With all that being said, Most Wanted 2005 is actually my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh really? Change of thought?
No, not at all. I just appreciate Underground 1 as well.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely Underground 2, then Underground 1, and then probably Most Wanted. But Most Wanted is still my third choice.
Question here. Out of the recent ones, which is your favourite?
I've slept on a lot of them. So
Probably
I mean, I've platinum Most Wanted 2012, and it is a good game, just not Need for Speed, and I guess I have to say that one.
Hot Pursuit for me.
I would say, like, for me, it's difficult because I played the run and I really enjoyed that. But once you beat the story and you tried the challenge series, because that thing was solid, like Black Box's challenge series usually are. The multiplayer didn't really work, but Most Wanted 2012, that was the open world. It had the cars, that I liked because if you bought the DLC, that is.
It's a Burnout game.
That's the thing. Like, out of all of them, though, recently, I would say that is the most. It felt like it had the least content, but it had the open world, so that kind of made up for it, if that makes sense.
I remember back in the day, like this was like a year ago. I remember watching one of your videos, and I looked at the top in the speed point counter, and it was like 9999999, like it was maxed out. I remember that specifically.
I actually played quite a bit of that game. Not gonna lie. I didn't want to, but I did because I didn't want to go back and play the old games again, if that makes sense, because it's just they're good, but you can't play them constantly. I don't want to be sitting here playing Carbon for the rest of my life.
See, that's one of the things about Underground 2 and Underground 1 that I really enjoyed is I never got bored of them. I'm still not bored of it. I can still go on now
Oh,
and have fun.
I can't go back on it and play it for very long.
Lately, I've actually been craving to play Underground 1.
I've been craving to play a bit of Carbon with a wheel. I want to try that one day, but like in a police chase with a wheel.
I've actually got a PS2 here with Underground 1 and Underground 2 literally in my hands.
Stick it in. Stick it in.
like, I've got the memory card and everything. It's all here, ready to go. I just need a power cable.
The best Need for Speed yet for me is Most Wanted 05.
Yeah.
Hey, should we wrap it here then? Should we call it a day?
Should, yeah.
Wait, one question. Did Most Wanted 2005 have split screen multiplayer?
Yeah. On
yes,
the
it
consoles
did, I
it
think.
is.
Okay, that's something I actually missed.
And there's actually a glitch where on a few of the tracks you can actually find your way outside the map and you can just free roam.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
there was it, because that's another thing. I don't know if you saw my big GTA video I made ages ago. I was basically saying how I made up missions for my friend and such.
I remember you telling me about that actually.
Yeah. Well, I did something similar on this. So what we'd do is kind of make up a storyline for ourselves, and he'd progress through. I know it sounds really, but I was a little kid, and I'd finish my game, so I'd wanted something to do. So I had a friend that I would let him start off in a little hatchback, and I'd kind of race against him and keep upgrading my car, and I'd kind of work as the AI drivers and the blacklist. And I don't know, that felt...
Sounds so like...
I know.
Such a cliche kid thing to do.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie, I did something similar.
But it was just a lot of fun. Like, we couldn't do things like that anymore. On Rivals, you just get taken out. On Most Wanted 2012, you just get taken out. It's just they don't have the same. They don't have the same. They don't feel like they've put love into the games like they used to. That makes sense.
See, what I used to do is I used to play cat and mouse all the time. That's what my main thing was.
Yeah.
Like we go around to the stadium and around there just play cat and mouse and like make yourself a little map, like block some parts off so you can't go further than there. Just play a bit of cat and mouse, and that was a lot of fun. And like obviously you can drive your my cars in free roam, so that was another great way of testing your cars you've built in my cars in on the game. If you just go manipulate the glitch. Like one thing I really don't like about games nowadays is the fact that split screen is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
fun.
Gone like completely.
The only game I literally can think of this year that's come out with split screen is FIFA, and no one likes FIFA except me.
I think Forza's got split screen.
Split screen.
Not Horizon 2.
Not Horizon 2,
FIFA has
no,
split
but
screen.
no, FIFA doesn't have split screen. It has like two-player, just
Two-player,
screen stretches
still local
out kind
though.
of thing,
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, there aren't that many games that have local co-op or anything.
Which
like
is
that.
sad because that was like one of the best things about playing games, was sitting on the sofa and just picking up two wired PS2 controllers and just going at it.
But I think
intensity.
the thing is, like, I just
We know why they've stopped.
Yeah.
Graphical prowess nowadays, but they think that we don't want it because the graphics will downgrade, but we do. We
do want it. It would be a great feature, because there's a lot of people that racing games especially they just fit split screen. It just feels, I don't know.
Especially racing games and shooters. Those are the two games.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find with shooters anyway, a split screen is still a thing. Like if you play COD, you play Halo.
Yeah.
Like split screen is still a thing, but racing games, no, no way. Imagine free roaming in Horizon 2, split screen. Imagine that. That would be great.
I think that's more of a limitation with the Xbox One with that, because I mean I can understand
if
open
I could do it in
world
Underground
games.
2, why can't I do it in Horizon?
It's because it's open world, and that was like track based co-op.
I guess I can see where you're coming from actually.
That would make sense. But Drive Club, for example, that would easily do it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have it, and they're like, oh, it might come in an update. Oh yeah, of course. Just like the weather and everything. I think track-based games should have
split screen. Yeah.
Split screen, yeah. It's just having the extra ability to, your friend comes over. Oh, let's have a race. Use your favorite car. Use mine. Race around. That was fun. Let's do it again. Different cars. It's even if your network's out and you get your friends over.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should end this before it comes an hour long. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to go check out all of our channels. Links will be in the description below. Hit the like on all of our videos. I think me and Theo are going to be uploading this. So yeah, again, links down below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Right, see ya.
Peace out.